Spectator mode is one of 4 game modes in Minecraft. The way you enter spectator mode is by dying, which to most people is game over. But I'm not most people. I'm an idiot. So I'm gonna try to beat the game. Now the first thing I'll do is try to go collect some wood, but the game doesn't let me do it. Next I'd make some tools, but I can't do that either. And now if I want to go down to the mines and mine any blocks, I just go right through them. If I want to enter the nether, I just can't. And even if I could, the blazes I'm looking for to get to the end don't spawn when you're in spectator. But even if I somehow got the blaze rods and ender pearls, I can't craft them in my inventory because I don't have one. However, even if I magically got into the end to assert my dominance on the ender dragon, not only can you not even hit him, come here boy, come here, but you can't even travel through the portal to get there in the first place. However, that raises the question. In a game mode where you can't interact with literally anything and are certifiably dead, is it possible to beat Minecraft in spectator mode? No. The answer is no. At least according to Gooster Bobo Hair. Listen here, if I was able to beat the game from the freaking void, I can figure out how to beat the game when I'm dead. Forcing Gooster to comment on my video admitting that he was wrong. Now, with everything you can't do out of the way, what can you do? According to the wiki, there are a few mechanics built into spectator mode. First, by using the scroll wheel, we can increase our flight speed up to a whopping 3,247 miles per hour. That's literally faster than a military jet. We can spectate mobs, but we can't control them. And we can fly through blocks. That's literally it. Now, since I have absolutely no idea what to do, I think the first step to solving this problem is gonna be what all intelligent people do. Getting someone else to solve the problem for me. And by someone else, I mean you. That is if you watch my Twitch. All right, you swine, listen up. I need your huge brains to solve my issues so I can make money and pay for my new anime obsession. So, help me figure out what we can even do in spectator mode, then let's come up with a plan on how to beat the game. So there are a bunch of problems we need to solve, but the most important ones are getting through the end portal and killing the dragon. The first issue, getting into the end, I'm gonna task chat with figuring out. And they came up with a pretty ingenious plan. Okay, so here's the plan. We activate a redstone timer, then we spectate the cow. While we're inside the cow, the redstone should fire the piston, pushing the cow into the end portal with us in it. You see, I can't pass through the end portal because I'm not an entity. But if we spectate an entity and then force it into the portal, maybe we'll travel with it into the end. At least, that was chat's theory. Then going to spectator, nothing's happening. The redstone stops. Okay, well, let's see what happens if we just yeet this cow into the end. Well, enjoy your new home. This was our first issue. You see, because we entered spectator mode, the game around us froze, including the redstone and the mobs. The cow just straight up disappeared, but then he reappears when you go back into creative mode, so it looks like using an entity, even if we could find a way to get into the portal, isn't gonna work. But, as somebody probably said at some point, when your plan doesn't work, just keep trying to make it work. Well, in the end, I discovered something by accident. Can I? Oh, I can spectate an end crystal. Okay, so I can spectate anything that's an entity. Which sparked an idea from chat that could solve all our problems. Spectate a piece of gravel. Now, my first instinct was to ban Xanda for just being dumb. Xanda, you're literally more useless than Yuki. But then I realized what he was saying. You see, most of us think of entities as cows or pigs. And although they are entities, so are things like end crystals and torches. Now, gravel isn't an entity, it's a block. So at first, this comment kinda made no sense. But when gravel falls, it turns into an entity mid-air. And while it's falling, if we could potentially spectate it, it might bring us through the portal. And it did go through, I think, but where is it going? Oh! This solidified the idea that gravel, when falling, can go through an end portal. But the next question was, can I spectate a gravel block? This might actually work. Break this, I go down to there, I go game mode spectator. Here they come. I don't know if I clicked on any of them. It had allowed me to spectate it for mere moments. This was all the proof we needed. It was time for the real test. Placing gravel above the end portal and spectating it as it falls. Okay, let's try this. So I hit it, I go here, I go spectator. It kicked me out right before I went through the portal. This wasn't good, but I wasn't out of ideas yet. You see, when you spectate gravel, it kicks you out when you land because it becomes a solid block again. Now, since there's bedrock right below this portal, maybe when the gravel makes contact with the portal, it also makes contact with the bedrock, turning it back into a full block and kicking me out. But the only way to see if this was what was wrong was to return to the overworld and use that portal. Since there are no blocks below it, it would be a perfect testing example. Come on, I can't nail it. Why is it so much harder? I'm stacking gravel. I just want to make sure I can get into gravel. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, I can't get into any of these. Why doesn't it work? Now, for some reason, falling gravel in the overworld doesn't allow you to spectate it, but it does in the end. This game is ruining my life. Maybe Gooster was right. Maybe this isn't possible. What the? There's no way this guy actually knows something about spectator mode. Okay, this changes everything. All right, we gotta load up snapshot 14W05A. Not sure what version this is in, but doesn't matter. If it can get me to the end, maybe this challenge is possible. All right, so there is no locate command in this version, so we're just gonna have to do this the old-fashioned way. This is painfully slow. Oh, there it is, there it is. Okay, now we just have to fill this in with eyes. And do we go through? Still don't go through. Let's do some research on this version. Okay, so interestingly, this is the version that spectator mode was added in. So it does have something to do with spectator mode, but what gets us to the end? I don't see anything here that can help us. I just want to test, like, even if there was a way to get to the end in this version, could we bring it back to 1.20? What the fudge just happened? What? Okay, somehow we've gotten to the end, but I have no idea how. I'm gonna rewatch the footage, I guess. What did I do? Okay, so I have a theory. If I load the world into the snapshot, then I enter into the portal. If we update the game back to 1.20, I think it transports us into the end. Oh. Okay, apparently not how it... But that's what it... Okay, I'm gonna try it again. One. Yes! Okay, so you have to be under the portal, like near the lava for this to work. I don't know why, why are there two ender dragons? You know what? That's a problem for later. We can now get into the end. So one of our problems is solved, but with one being solved, we open up a couple more. Okay, so now that we can pass through the portal, we need to figure out a way to get an activated portal. Now, we already know that using or obtaining items is impossible in spectator mode, but trying to place Eyes of Ender into the portal is impossible. This leaves only one solution, a world that has an activated portal already, which, according to Google, if we're to try and find, we have a 1 in 1 trillion chance of finding it. All right, so we found a seed, and now it's time to go to the portal and see if this actually works. The chunks aren't loading. I'm gonna have to go figure out what's going on. Huh. Okay, this might be a problem. So, apparently because I'm dead, I can't load chunks. Now, from what I'm reading, spectator mode is built for one main reason in a survival sense: to view things you already built or made. It isn't meant to explore new things. You see, when you explore in-game, Minecraft saves what is called region files. If you enter the specific region that you've already explored in spectator mode, the game will just load the chunks as it has a region file to reference. But if you enter a new chunk that you have never loaded, the game doesn't have a region file and will not load the chunk unless you get there in creative or survival mode. So this means we can't get to the lit portal. Why every time when we get close does something dumb happen? A few days later. Okay, so I think I have a solution. We need a seed with a lit end portal near enough to spawn that it'll be loaded within the spawn chunks. Okay, so apparently this seed works for this? Yes! So now we can get to the end, but we still have one big problem left. How are we gonna kill the Ender Dragon? Don't look at me, I don't know either. Now, since we can't hit him or cause any crystal to break around him, this could be tricky. Okay, I think I figured it out. We're ready to do a run. Now, here are the rules. When we enter the world, we must immediately die. To complete the game, we're gonna borrow speedrun.com's definition, which is entering the portal in the end to getting to the credit screen. We cannot use commands or other players to help us. And Herobrine. I like that rule. Now, let's do this. I actually haven't tested the last part of this, so it only works in theory, but I'm sure it'll be fine. Okay, so step 1 is to boot up 1.12.2. Now, I've tried this method like 60 different ways, and this is honestly the only way I can see it working. Okay, so first, we need to jump into the water and get into spectator mode. All right, then I need to find the end portal. Okay, then I just need to plant myself like this inside the end portal. Now I have to swap back to 14W05A. This should get us into the end. Now the next part, I've basically just kind of figured out on my own / mixed together, so I'm not sure if it's gonna work. Okay, I think the first thing we need to do is load the game into 1.12. All right, so the Ender Dragon should still be here, and there's an end portal in the middle. Okay, perfect. So we get semi-close to the dragon. All right, so now we leave the game, and I think if we load back our original version here, okay, now we've loaded up 14W05A again, we go back into the game, pause. Let me explain why this might work. You see, in 1.12, entities are coded with different tags than in 1.8. If I move the dragon from version 1.8 to 1.12, the game knows how to update the tags, but if I move the dragon back from 1.12 to 1.8, it doesn't know how to read the new tags that it just got updated with, so it will kill the dragon thinking it's an invalid spawn. I think. I hope. Well, that was a bit anticlimactic. So, the dragon is dead, the crystals are popped, but the end portal to get out didn't spawn. Now, I've tried this run over 1,000 times with different combinations of versions, including looking at other people's runs who've attempted this, and none of them actually work. So although technically I finished what I set out to do, which was killing the dragon, I haven't yet completed the game until I reach the end screen. But that's where you come in. I cannot figure this out, but I'm issuing a $500 challenge to anyone who can best me at this. If you can figure out a way to get to the credit screen, I will link your video below and reward you with $500 for outsmarting me. Rules will be in my Discord. But for now, to answer the question, can you beat Minecraft in spectator mode? Kind of. Suck it, Gooster.